Hey guys, welcome and or welcome back. If this is your first time seeing my video, consider subscribing. I do movie reviews and I do them in a form of dissecting the movie. So almost every review of mine that you will see, if you have not seen the movie already, you should not watch it because it will be kind of a spoiler. Not kind of a spoiler, it will be a spoiler because I go in detail. I don't go act by act per se or scene by scene, but I pretty much, it's not gonna be like a 5-minute video review. And when you see me looking down, I'm looking down at my notes. So today we're discussing Tomb Raider, and I'm just gonna start off saying I liked the movie. You know, everyone is going around saying, did it break the video game movie curse? I don't think it did, but it wasn't a bad movie. I really liked this movie. I think Alicia, I never know how to say her name. I don't know if it's Alicia or Alicia. I'm gonna go with Alicia. Alicia Vikander, she's an actress. I enjoy watching her work. So I really liked her in this movie. I like the way the movie started off with her father in the movie narrating the story, kind of gave a backstory to people who have either never seen maybe the first one to know who Lara Croft is, and just the premise or just the underlying of the story. So I really liked that aspect of it. It didn't just start the movie with you not knowing what the hell is going on. So I really liked that. And for I meant to say, for the people that don't play or didn't play the video game or even know it existed, I would say people like that went to go see this would probably also enjoy it. So, besides the way that her father started narrating the movie, I liked how they started with an action sequence. I liked that they showed her in the boxing match, in the boxing ring, doing her thing. And she got really, really, fit for this movie. Like, you see her abs, she was extremely fit. She looked really, really good. I really liked that. And I liked the fact that she was, you know, like I said, in the boxing ring, actually fighting. So they were able to show her physical ability to whatever else would have happened in the movie as far as her fighting or any action sequences that she was doing in the movie. It was realistic because in the beginning of the movie, they're able to show you this girl can fight. She's able to hold her own, and she's physically fit to where if there was an obstacle coming her way, she would be able to handle her own. So I really, 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 really loved that they did that. Because often, too many times you see in movies, you know, someone is just like maybe a badass, and then they come and to like a challenge, and they're just automatically able to take people out, and it never makes any sense. But this makes a lot of sense to me, and I love that they played up her strength instead of her sexiness. In no way, shape, or form in this movie was I thinking, ooh, that's sexy. And I really loved that, opposed to the first movie. And I'm thinking, because that also followed in the video game, she's in her short shorts and the tank top or t-shirt, whatever, and she's super sexy. I like that they did not do that with this. I really, really enjoy that. Another thing that I noticed that I really like was that the story did not drag. Like I said, it started off with action, but even there were some action sequences that was really fast paced, and there were some action sequences that was very well paced and in a soft way, but it was still not, it wasn't for me, I would say it wasn't a super action-packed movie, but to me, had good enough action in every other scene. So I really enjoyed that. I thought it was smart for them to not drag this at all. Even though I felt like some moments We're like, she didn't have a ton of dialogue, which I'm not mad at. I know some people mentioned it and they were saying she didn't talk a lot throughout the whole entire movie, and the movie is only like an hour and 50 minutes, so it's not that long. So I like the movie. I like the fact that the movie did not drag, because too many times action movies do that. They'll drag for so long, and then like the last 10 minutes of the movie is where all the action is. I like that it did not do that at all, because that would have made me so mad. I also like that this movie was true, or Alicia's performance was as Lara Croft was very true to the most recent Lara Croft games. Like a couple of scars on the face, I would say. And as far as her scars, I'm going to touch on that later when I get to that subject, because I have a pet peeve when it comes to stuff like that. And like I said, I'm going to elaborate later, but I like that it was a good adaptation from the video game to what we saw in the movie. At least to me anyway. It wasn't too far off. So I think she did a great job on that. So I'm sure this is a pet peeve thing, and maybe not a lot of people caught on, or maybe a lot of people did catch on. When, like I said, I'm not dissecting every scene of the movie, so I'm just gonna jump to the highlights, for me anyway. When, she goes through her bike ride, and then, she's arrested, and she has to go sign, her papers, and then she didn't, and now she didn't burn her father's research, and now she's on this adventure. Her adventure starts when she gets to Japan. And when she meets, when she gets there, she was asking around, showing people, or asking about the name, not pictures, because she didn't have a picture. She was showing, she was asking around. And I like how everybody were like, they didn't understand what she was saying, because she's in a foreign country. And when she finally gets to Lu Ren, he spoke, one, perfect English. He had an American accent. How? Like, I understand he has a ship, he's a captain on his ship, he's still Japanese. I was just so confused as to how he had an American accent. Even if his English was fluent, which I just like when things are true culturally. Like, to me, that made no sense as to why in Japan, out of everybody that she just asked a question, even the kids that were chasing her, they all had an accent or barely understood what she said. And when she found Lu Ren, he had an American accent. He spoke perfect English. What? Even for a video game, that is unrealistic. I don't care. Like, that is so unrealistic. I was not feeling that. I was just like, this guy is okay. Like, listen, if you're gonna do something, do it all the way. You find a great Japanese actor, or I'm not sure what his origins is in real life, but in the movie he's believable and passable for a Japanese person, but you won't give him an accent? Okay. That was just my pet peeve with that. I was like, this is not realistic at all. I'm not gonna go to a foreign country, and even if they speak fluent English, for them to not have an accent. I just wanted to point that out. Okay, so next highlight, after Lu Ren didn't shoot her, she's able to talk to him, and he somehow agrees to go on this journey with her, or to take her, not even with her, because she was just going to find another way and probably get in trouble. And money was involved, so he was game. So they had one-on-one time on the boat. And right before the turbulence and all that stuff in the water, the more I'm talking about this, I'm realizing I really actually liked this movie. Something that they did that I really enjoy, or that I really liked, I say enjoy a lot, that I really enjoy, is the fact that even though she's a woman and he's a man and they're alone on a boat, I love that they didn't try to romanticize this. Often too many times in movies, it's such a cliche. It doesn't matter if you met someone a week ago, it doesn't matter if you met them 2 days ago, they always find a way to make people have this undying like chemistry and, oh, I'm gonna fall for you, or like just like a love romantic thing going on. And they did not do that in this movie, and I am so happy. Like, I'm so happy that they did not do that. I don't know, it was certain choices that I know I didn't like, but it was a lot of choices I know I really liked. And I like the fact that they did not try to romanticize them. They didn't try to make them like lovers on the boat. Like, I loved that. I loved it. So next is where I would say I kind of gave a little side eye, I like to point out unrealistic things when it comes to movies. Sometimes some things I'm just like, it's not that serious, but it's just certain things I'm just like, you guys didn't think about this, or it didn't play, like, certain things they should have just done better with. And one for me, or one out of many, is when they go through all the turbulence and Lu Ren is somewhere in the water or somewhere now on the camp, and she gets rescued by, what's his name, Matthias, whatever, Vogel. When she gets rescued, instinctively I feel like if something like that were to happen to me and I woke up and someone is like giving me water, automatically in my brain I'm just automatically, without like looking at my surroundings, just getting up, I will feel, one, happy because of, I know what I just went through. It wasn't like I was kidnapped, right? I wasn't like kidnapped. I just went through this thing and now I'm alive and someone is giving me water, and now, like, almost immediately I will not be side-eyeing and skeptical. Just immediately. Now, to do that after you've looked at your surroundings or whatever this Vogel guy was saying, then she should have like started looking around like, I don't trust this guy. He's being cynical. He's saying some crazy shit. And then I felt like she should have been suspicious of him. But as soon as she woke up, she drank the water, she was automatically suspicious. I feel like that's not realistic. For you to have been rescued, or for someone to have rescued you. In this case, we know he didn't really like, I mean, he did rescue her. He could have let her die. But just instinctively, you will never like wake up from something that could have killed you or should have killed you and just automatically off the bat be suspicious. It's just so strange. I just think when something like that happens to people, you're thankful. You're not suspicious, right? I don't know. That was weird to me. But then, like, they should have just, it would have happened eventually, and it would have been smart that she did that after like a beat, like maybe after a minute. But it's just as soon as she woke up, she was suspicious, and I just thought that could have been a little. Also, this can be me nitpicking, but that could have been something that they could have worked on and just realized initially people don't react that way. When, if you save me, I'm thankful. I'm not like being suspicious of you. Maybe after a minute or two, and you start seeing some weird stuff, or I look at my surroundings and I'm like, maybe you're gonna skin me alive. Then that's when she should have been panicking, like, oh, holy shit, I need to get the fuck up out of here, And that didn't really happen when I expected it to happen. It happened way too soon, and that's just something to be critical about, that's all. So now moving on to the next part of the movie. I felt like this is where the dialogue for me felt a little flat, or just the storytelling felt a little flat for me. Was, after she realized who Vogel is, they have that conversation. Now she's thrown in the camp with the rest of the fishermen that have been rescued, captured. And now they all have to find a way to open this tomb. He explains to her, blah, blah, blah. And she finds Lu Ren, or they find each other. She wasn't going looking for him. They see each other, and in maybe a minute or two of her working, or of them chatting it up, he helps her escape. Or they form a plan with their eyes. He helps her escape, so to speak, and her escaping, the score and the dramatic music going with the action sequences, for me, I really, really liked it. I felt like you felt what she was feeling when she was running and her life was in danger. I felt like, what they were playing, like just the scores in those parts were really, really good. Like just the sounds, and I don't want to say soundtrack. I'll just say the score for the action sequences in this movie, just from the beginning to end, was really, really on point. Every time she was running, like it was just like, what's about to happen? What's about to get her? She about to die. She about to get shot. I really, really like that, and it got you excited as an audience, as a viewer. It got you excited, because I was excited, like, what the hell is about to happen? But then, being that balanced out the dialogue being flat, because for me, I think the movie kind of went downhill from here, honestly. And this, from what I mentioned earlier, is what I absolutely hate. Yes, I said hate in movies. I hated it in Transformer. I think it was the first one, Transformers. Was it the first one? Yes. Oh my God. I hate when action movies do this. Or just movies in general where you're like in some type of danger and you fell and you've gone through all this crazy shit. First of all, no matter how fit and tough Lara is, no human being would have survived what she did. You'd have been dead. So without I'm fine with her being alive, because I mean, it's a video game and whatever. I'm fine with her being alive. What I don't like is when movies like this, you have gone through all this shit that a regular human being would not be able to go through in the jungle, and you like everything has cut you and stabbed you. I appreciate that, her stab wound, made her slow down, and eventually it gets healed. Eventually when she, she's on the mountaintop. But I don't want to move forward. I like when people go through stuff like this and they have results and scars to show for it. She barely had scars. She had like the slit here and like just a little couple of scratches. But realistically, even if you were to survive all of that and not die, realistically, she would be very, very incredibly sore. And she would have way. And because she's in a tank top, y'all. She's in a tank top. Her arm, her chest, even her face should have been way scarred up than she was. Because that's the realistic thing that would happen to you and I if we were doing this action sequence in real life and we did not die. Her hands were not scratched up, and everything she was grabbing on would realistically have scratched you. I know it goes to the video game, and I mentioned it being relatable, but stuff like this, when you make it a live action, you just have to think about things that will translate well in real life. Like, if I were to just fall outside, I would scrape myself. But you don't think I would scrape myself harder and almost everywhere where I have on a tank top in the jungle being chased by whatever the fuck? And I'm like falling from planes to here, and I just hate when movies do that. And she was dirty. She wasn't dirty enough. There's no way you go through stuff like that and still be halfway clean. Oh my God. I don't like when movies do that, and I wish movies would understand. Directors and producers will understand this. Listen, find some latex scarring and bruise them up, because that's more believable, like, than just the scar and the little, like, scrapes that she got. I needed more on her body, and that was a little rant, but I hate when movies do that. You're not gonna do all of these. Like, when I mentioned Transformers earlier, where she had on white pants, they were dirty, but if you had on white pants and you were, like, in a desert in the sand and you fell, your pants at the end of the movie are going to be tan and ridiculously dirty because they were white. And you just, any little thing, if something was ivory and it went on something white, you would see it. So you're telling me this girl went through all of this and her white pants are still kind of white? Come on. Like, I don't care how good you look fighting, you should be dirty, okay? You should be scarred up, you should be dirty, and you should be sore because it's painful. Oh my God. I mean, I'm no writer, so what do I know? But movies need to stop making people look pretty after they just went through this unbelievable, crazy shit. You're not Superman, okay? You're not Superman. So next is another thing that I'm just like, this may be in the form of a rant. Whatever. When, you know, she's trying to find a way to get to safety after she has fought off the guy that found her, that would have possibly brought her back to camp. She fought him off, killed him, and she gets stabbed on the inside, which that part was a little realistic, but she still needed more. I'm moving on from that, I promise. But that happened to her, so now she's in more pain than she had just been, you know, was struggling and fighting this guy. And then this person shows up and she sees them, and then they see her, and then they run away, and she chases after him. There is no way in fucking hell, maybe some ways, but there's no way I'm trying to find myself or get myself to safety. Someone was just chasing me and I just killed them. Who's to say whoever just saw me and ran away was not luring me to follow them so they can catch me and kill me? Who's to... No. It's not like she was like sneaking and trying to like see where they go. Maybe they could have helped her to safety. She was chasing after this person. Like, hey, no, stop. What? Absolutely not. No. No. It's not realistic. Not realistic. It's not realistic. Maybe for her, but that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it's just instincts. I would never, like, as soon as they saw me, I would have hid behind a tree. Oh, or I would have ran. And now that I see that they ran from me, I would have, like, tried to follow. I won't be calling after them and chasing after them. That is just stupid. Even if you're not in a jungle, that's just stupid. That's stupid. No, don't do it. I would have followed, but I wouldn't have chased. Like, I would have followed to see, like, because now this person is running from you. Like, run, but don't, like, chase. Like, sneak up on, like, I don't know. It just, you guys know what I'm trying to say. Like, I would have followed to see if this person already had like a cave or whatever that they're already living in, or just to see where they go. But, and that could also even be a trap, because they know instinctively you may do that. But you should never just chase after someone that ran from you. What? Anyway, they get to the part where they're climbing the mountain, and in this moment, I think, is when you're doing something like that and you're climbing, and this person has like facial hair and hair down their side, you can't tell who it is. And it was like dark. You can't tell who it is. What kind of vision does she have? She has x-ray vision to know who this person was? Guys, I was just like, how is she? Okay, no. So I'm guessing when she's like trying to chase up the mountain and climbing this cave, chasing this strange person, I'm guessing that's where in that moment she noticed it's her dad, which is also, guys, it's also unrealistic. This is someone you have not seen in 7 years. They look different. They're draped in different clothing. There's facial hair. Like, when she had climbed all the way up and then she saw that it was her dad, that would have been a redeeming quality for what just happened in the past minute if she was shocked. And I don't know if this goes to her acting. I doubt it. I think it was just the way it was written, because she's an amazing actress. So I don't think that was on her. I think it was just the way it was written. She walked on that cave, and her dad, like, they wrote him well. That was very believable. It was a smart thing to do, because when you've been by yourself all these years, you've probably hallucinated. You've probably thought of this crazy thing happening to you. You've probably been talking to yourself. You've probably been seeing people that are not really there. So when she gets up there and he's talking to himself like, this is not real, this is not real, it's gonna go away soon, that's believable. She slowly said, Dad, it's me. No! She should have been shocked. One, that he's alive. Like, there was not enough shock factor of her gazing upon him. Like, even if she said, Dad, it's me, trying to calm him down, she wasn't shocked enough for me. Like, she was not shocked enough. You just don't see someone that you haven't seen in so long and automatically know it's them, because it's been so long, and you've already thought they were dead. You were here to find out what happened to him. You didn't think he was alive. That's number one. Number two, even if you did now know he was alive, you would still be shocked. You would be shocked. She did not show any, like, she wasn't shocked enough for me. I don't know if anybody else did, because when I watch movies, I'm very observant. I just always pay attention to little things, and that she wasn't shocked enough for me. And I hate this next part, because to me, from the couple of things I've seen her in, she's been really, really, really amazing. From what I've seen him in, everyone in this movie, this was a great cast. Everybody was great. But the little part for me in that, when they were bonding, or like, you know, rebonding and rekindling and whatever, reunion, whatever you want to call it, the chemistry between daughter and father, between them two, was not realistic to me. Okay, let me take that back. Not that it wasn't realistic. I didn't feel the chemistry of mother and daughter, father and daughter. Like, I didn't feel the chemistry. Like, it wasn't organic. Like, for someone you haven't seen in a long time, it should have been way, way, way emotional. And even though she was hurt, you know, he helped her, and it wasn't emotional enough. It wasn't, I don't know, it was something about that that it wasn't emotional enough, and it wasn't, what's the word I'm trying to use? I keep saying emotional, but it wasn't organic enough for me. I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but that part wasn't, I didn't feel it. Back to the last video I did was A Wrinkle in Time, and that father-daughter duo, that was believable as hell. Like, that was like, it was all the emotions. Okay, from being separated, perfect example actually, from being separated, Meg had not seen her dad in 4 years. Lara had not seen her dad in 7 years, who she thought was dead. That needed to be more emotional, like it was in A Wrinkle in Time. A lot of my videos, I'm always going to be comparing to other things. It may not be fair, but I'm going to do it anyway. So, I don't know. It wasn't organic to me. That's all I have to say about that. And it's like, I think it was difficult for me because they're both amazing actors. So, I don't know. I didn't really feel that part. So, you know, they got to talking, and now they're like in a little disagreement, and he's trying to say, well, you know, this is not going to happen because you burned my papers. And she's like, ooh, about that, I didn't, you know, that's how I was able to find you. And, you know, him telling her the story, she's like not believing this mythical bullshit. She's like, nah, I'm going to go help these people get out of whatever bondage they're in on camp, you know, the fisherman. So she takes the bow and arrow. She kind of leaves him behind. I'm pretty sure obviously he followed. And she has this plan in her head, which if that was me with that plan, I would have been scared as hell. She wasn't nearly as scared as she needed to be for me. I would have been scared as hell, like, you know, but it's a movie, whatever. She finds a way to get to Luren, and she tells him her plan, and, you know, her plan is going underway. And then they cut to Vogel and her dad. They cut to Richard and Vogel. And he's just like, he also wasn't surprised enough that that Richard was alive. If I killed you, or I thought I killed you and I saw you, I would have been like, what the fuck? You know? That wasn't a thing. He was just kind of like disappointed that he wasn't dead. He wasn't shocked. He was just like, oh man, I wish I knew you were alive all this time. You know, I wouldn't have been talking to myself. It would have been nice to have someone to talk to. Meanwhile, he had all those people to talk to. Whatever. I get what he was saying. But he also wasn't like surprised. He was just disappointed that I didn't really kill you. So where he's telling Richard to open the tomb and Richard is not having it. Lara's like, fine, whatever, I'll open it. I told you guys earlier, after that chase sequence, or maybe it was right before it, where she was like surviving after she escaped the camp, everything just kind of fell flat for me. So I'm not really gonna go too much into the tomb. When they get into the tomb, she has to solve some, you know, some riddles, and then when they get there, she realizes it's true what her father has been saying this whole time. And then it was a tiny plot twist. Himiko is not what they thought she was. She wasn't evil. She was actually immune, and she saved basically the rest of the world from whatever the disease was, blah blah blah. Her father had to sacrifice himself for the rest of humanity, basically, and Lara was able to kill Vogel. And they had their combat too. Now, what I want to say about Vogel, this is also while it was a couple of things I did not like in this movie, I enjoy when writers make characters so true to themselves. When I see them in the next movie, I'm like, I fucking hate this guy. Because of what he did in the last movie, because they make you believe it. I mean, I'm not going to hate them. I can separate an actor from their character. Seems like a lot of people can't do that. But they make you believe that that character is who they are and unwavering. I like how Vogel, from when we saw him on screen till the end, he was this pompous asshole. He was this straight up asshole that basically just wanting to get back to his daughters, which I felt like he's such a strong actor. The writing should have been, that shouldn't have just been the reason why he was trying to open this tomb and get back home. It should have been a little more solid than that, but that wasn't that bad. But I love that he was true to character, and the way we met him is the way he ended up dying in the movie. Even when they were like in the tomb, things he'll say like, ladies first, because listen, he would let you die before he let himself die. He would kill everybody before he let himself die. I like when writers make smart choices like that. I just like that how he didn't end up cowering. He didn't end up like, okay, I give up, or like, I just love the way they kept him true to character. He didn't like try to grow into this humble person, like, okay, maybe, well, I don't know. I just like how they didn't have him cower, and he was unwavering in his character. Not that I like how mean and asshole-ish and evil he was per se, but I just love that characters like that are able to, through and through in a movie, be who they are. This is not a TV show where you see people evolve. So I like when movies make smart choices like that with their characters, where he was just the villain and he was true to being the villain that he was. So I really appreciated that. So rounding up here, I will just touch on, after that whole sequence of her killing him, she finds her way back home some way, somehow. Well, when she was crawling out of the hole, before I move forward, she was crawling out of the hole, and Lu Ren was able to gather the troops, and they were able to help her escape from, you know, from the tomb. She gets back home, and I don't know if it's just me in my mind, or if that's just the way the movie was. You could see, or how good Alicia as an actress is, when she gets back home. You can see how the weight is kind of lifted off her, like, or maybe it's just me in my mind, but you can see how, well, I saw the way where when she's back home, the weight is a little lifted off her. She's acting and talking and walking a little differently, a little more like content, because now she knows, you know, her father sacrificed himself for basically the humanity. So she's a little more like at peace with that. Where in the beginning of the movie, she was just like she was doing everything to make quick money. She was unsettling, and to the end of the movie where she's a little more at peace with everything. And she's now signing the contract, which I don't care what you're signing. You need to take time. If you have to ask them for the whole thing, or the whole day, and stay in that office and read it thoroughly, and if you don't know anything thoroughly, if you don't know anything, don't sign it. You need to be able to know what's in the contract that you're signing, because now it's like she just signed off her rights. That's what they alluded to, at least to me. She doesn't know that. She's just like signing. Obviously she's signing, and she's gonna inherit her father's fortune, but it would have been smart for her to actually read. She skimmed through it and saw the brand logo that Vogel was using in Japan at the camp was also something that the Croft company owns, and her father has now been running the company for what, 7 years now. So now, I don't remember her character name in the movie, but Kristen Scott Thomas, the actress, I don't remember her name in the movie, but you know, now that they're like pan and zooming on Lara's face when she's realizing what's happening, and then they show Kristen go in the elevator, and then now Lara is putting two and two together, basically ties in to elude us that there's going to be a second movie. And I like this movie enough to look forward to a second movie, but it depends on how, you know, how much money they make, if they make enough, because right now the opening weekend, it only made 23 million or so. So hopefully the international, global numbers do it some justice, because I would like to see a second one, and I think they'll probably, from what I see, most people have liked this movie. Like, so I will say in conclusion, I think this is a good movie. It's not a great movie, but I think it was a good movie. I enjoy it, and if you haven't seen it, I would say go get the experience. Go see it in the movie theater. It's one of those things when you play this game, if you have played the game, you would either like the movie or you won't like the movie. It's always like that. Even when it comes from books, it's either you really, really love the movie or you hate it, or you're kind of like in between. But I liked the movie. I think they did it well, besides the little things that I pointed out, you know, but all movies have their own faults and, you know, disappointments. But I liked this movie, and I'm going to rate this movie a 6. To me, that's good. 6 out of 10. So I think give it a chance. Go see it. To me, it was not a disappointment. It is disappointing to see that it didn't make more at the box office. So hopefully, as the weeks go on, I don't know how it'll do next week, because I think Pacific Rim is coming out. So I don't know how that's gonna waver, or how that's gonna adjust. We'll see. But hopefully, just globally, it at least makes the budget of what the movie was, because that might determine if they make a second one or not, which I would like to see. And Alicia did really well in this movie, and everybody did well in this movie. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, thumbs up this video, and that was my brutally honest review on Tomb Raider, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.